in salons, in barbershop, and I just listened to the people and captured their feelings, their aspirations, and what they want in one word.
One word. You talk about one term, but at the time when Kenyans went to the streets to complain about the ills the government was is putting on them, and one word was kufa dereva, kufa makanga. And when you talk about one term, Kenyans have insisted that it is the entire crew of politicians to go home and we reset the status of the country. How would you respond to Kenyans who say, even you, regarding Gachagua, we do not want you to lead us?
Well, I don't know which Kenyans those are, because when I go to meetings, thousands attend without any mobilization. I don't pay people to attend my meetings like William Ruto does. Today he was in church in Meru. The people who went to church were paid. You know, it has reached there. He cannot talk to people without paying them. I don't pay people. I address organic meetings across the country, and people, when I turn up wherever I go, they come in thousands. So I don't know which are these Kenyans that have a problem with regarding Gachagua and they think he's part of the problem. Yes, they considered me to be part of the problem, but along the way I graduated into part of the solution. And one of the solutions that Kenyans want, that I have taken charge of, is one term. And Kenyans are happy with me, because you remember when I went to the United States for 6 weeks and Kenyans were asking for me to come back because the one-term momentum was slowing down. And that is what Kenyans want. So what I did is, I was a part of the problem. When I realized there's a problem, I differed with William Ruto. And along the way, I graduated into a solution that has gone well with the people of Kenya. And the people of Kenya, wherever I go, I get rousing welcome. I don't pay anybody. My meetings spend nothing other than fuel and batteries for my microphones. I don't spend money. As opposed to my opponent William Ruto, because that is my opponent. For him to address any meeting, like in the Mount Kenya region, he spends a minimum of 10 million in a meeting. His MPs, they spend 2-3 million. His deputy spends about 5 million to talk to anybody. All these guys you see at that tent, they are paid. And if you don't pay them, they'll start saying one time. And even what is interesting is, because I also communicated to my people, when I realized that a lot of money is being used to bribe them, I also told them, I give them the charges to charge these guys to come and cheat them. And what has happened now is that William Ruto and his group pays Kenyans to listen to them. The minute they take off, they all start shouting one time, because we agreed that this money is stolen. In any case, even if you don't take it from William Ruto, you take it elsewhere. So why not? Just take it, but don't sell your conscience, and stick with what you believe in. So I don't agree with you that Kenyans say they want to get rid of everybody. If they did, the meetings I do, there will be nobody, or they will be demanding I pay them.
But regarding Gachagua, you've taken responsibility of being part of the problem. And what are some of the problems we're talking about? We talk about SHA. Let's talk about affordable housing. Let's talk about taxes. During the campaign period, you and President William Ruto went across the country saying the problem with the high price of fuel in the country was because of the taxes. But what did we see once you formed the government? The taxes increased from 8% to 16%, 100% increment. As Kenyans sit here today and listen to you speak, they say you are part of the pain we feel today. We feel not comfortable to have you on board.
I'll qualify that. I am not part of the problem of taxation, theft of public resources, wanton corruption. I'm not part of that. The problem I admit I am part of was bringing William Ruto to office. That I accept. And I have apologized 100 times to the people of Kenya. That I created the mess we are in by assisting William Ruto to be elected president. I accept wholeheartedly to the people of Kenya that I created a problem in Kenya, and I take responsibility. But I've also told the people of Kenya, now that I admit I made a great mistake in creating the problem, the mistake called William Ruto, the greatest lie ever in the history of Kenya. For me to redeem my image, I must play an even greater role in correcting that problem, by making sure William Ruto is one term. As to the problems that are in the country, as his deputy, we had no role. William Ruto is a one-man show. He runs the government single-handedly. And you can see right now he's doing roadside declarations. Yesterday he was in Vihiga, and somebody there, an MP, complained about fees for IDs. And then he made a declaration there that there will be no more fees without consulting the policy makers, without talking to anybody. That's the mess we are in the country. The other day you saw teachers come to State House for bribes. And then he made a unilateral declaration that 20% of those houses will go to teachers without talking to the minister, without talking to the directors, without talking to the people who made this policy. That's the way this country is run. You know, that is the way this country is run. And therefore, I absolve myself from any blame, because when I realized that as deputy I had no role, the ministers had no role, the PSs had no role, I started having a fight with him within, until it reached a place we could not agree, and he made a decision to throw me out, which is okay, you know. But I realized, and after the first 1 year, that the Kenya government, led by William Ruto, had become a criminal enterprise. Theft of public resources, misappropriation of funds, decisions that are of commercial interest to him and his family. And I couldn't take it, because that is not what he had told me when we were forming government. That is not what he had told the people of Kenya. If you look at this decision to sell Kenya Pipeline, Kenya Pipeline is valued at 600 billion. It's being sold for 100 billion, you know? And the valuation has not included land in Mombasa that is worth about 40 billion. And this company is being bought by a Nigerian who is an in-law to President William Ruto. And that I know, because I was there. And I had refused when the matter was brought to the cabinet committee that I chaired. How do you sell strategic installations of the country? You know, fuel is something that is very sensitive. How do you put the country's oil reservoirs in private hands? What if there is sabotage and the country comes to a stop? But because he has a commercial interest himself, you know, today, Dennis, tea farmers are up in arms. I was in charge of tea reforms and things were going on very well. A single decision by William Ruto to do business with the rebel movement in Sudan, the RSF of Hemeti, who is a business partner of William Ruto. The government of Sudan made a decision to ban the importation of Kenyan tea. As a result of that ban, we have not been able to sell our tea in good prices. What is the result? The prices of tea have gone down. Farmers across the country, including his home in Kericho and Bomet, where he comes from, his kinsmen, they are up in arms. And it's a simple personal decision that because he wants to deal with the gold with Sudan and give them arms in exchange to kill women and children, then we cannot sell our tea. And because we cannot sell our tea, our prices have gone down. Then the farmers are crying across the country. So these are the things that I saw along the way. And I said, no, I can't have this. I'm not a con man. How do we con the people of Kenya? We promised to have a bottom-up economic transformation agenda. We promised to put money into people's pockets. Then the little that they have, we remove it. You know? So I am saying that the Kenya government, run by William Ruto, is a criminal enterprise. State House is a crime scene. You have seen State House now has lost dignity. Bribery takes place, you know, in broad daylight, you know, and he doesn't care, he really doesn't care. All money that was meant for capitation, schools are shutting down, that money has been diverted to State House to bribe people. Money meant for health has been diverted. Lecturers have not been paid. This money is what is being carried in sacks in choppers across the country. I was unable to be part of that criminal enterprise. And Kenyans must forgive me for that, because that's not what we promised the people of Kenya. We had promised the people of Kenya that we are people's government, that we are going to serve in humility, we are going to make people's lives better, we are going to make people to improve their welfare, we are going to have ease of doing business. But where we are, my friend, the country is on its knees.
We talk about privatization of state resources. You mentioned KPC to be specific. You say that the valuation was not considered, that this is business because the person who is to buy it